Welcome back to Dum Dum's 2099, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into a futuristic world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Alyn, Honor System, and Declan took control of the Zeus Cannon and portaled to the Hive Quarters. Honor System threw Alyn's mom into the generator. Declan used invisibility to murder a crowd of MFTs, and Alyn briefly became a magical god. Can our heroes survive a fight with Zeus now that Alyn's mortal once again? Find out next on Dum Dums and Dragons 2099.
You stumble through a portal into a room full of very, very upset-looking people. Looking out across this large, beautiful penthouse, you see a mix of faces looking back at you. You see humans, you see elves, you see orcs, gnomes, goblins, drow, the whole spectrum of mages and of wealthy executives, some of whom defected to Amazon following the collapse of the Conglomerata, others who've been diehards, who have been with Zeus since the beginning. Amongst the mages, you see, as you did sort of back on Terra Firma, a variety of different styles, from the sort of clearly sort of hedge mage types who are just making it work, kind of the Jedi on the run look, to the mages who are clearly trying to make a big deal to fact they're mages, to the truly scary ones who don't seem to really have any agenda in how they look whatsoever. It is a strange assortment, a motley assortment of people looking back at you. With, generally speaking, looks of either surprise, disgust, or dismay. The room is this is going to shock you, a large honeycomb-shaped room with sort of beautiful two-story glass, space glass walls. Think kind of like Bruce Wayne's penthouse in Dark Knight when he throws his like Harvey Dent party and then Joker shows up and ruins it. So just kind of a very, very austere space. And it is big. It is a large, large, large room. It is the size of you can tell that since it's sort of the entire building is stacked on top of each other, it is the size of that atrium you were in terms of its surface area. So there's a lot of people milling around. It's like a large, large space.
In terms of dimensions,
probably
for purposes of spell casting.
Yeah,
what?
I mean, well, no, I thought Laura was just really into geography.
I am, yeah.
It's probably about a 300 by 300
Hot damn.
space. It is a big. Might be too big. You know what? No, I'm just adjusting that to limit your abilities. It's like 150 by 150.
Okay, cool.
So large, but not infinitely large.
Yeah.
And you can see that similar to a lot of incredibly fancy hotel rooms the world over, there's sort of like a boardroom table. There's a massive vid screen. There's kind of a workstation with a bunch of consoles like you'd find in the Batcave. Like you can tell that this is Jacinda's spot. This is where he hangs out and where he will kind of rule his empire from. The man himself, such as he is at the sort of north end of the room. You'll note that there are not people around him. He is alone on kind of a raised dais. Rather than just a throne, it's a throne with a desk in front of it. Big old wooden desk that has clearly been brought up to the moon with some effort and some cost. Zeus sits behind it, sort of lording over the revels, and now more recently the prep and the attack. Obviously, there are a bunch of mages near the portal who are getting ready to jump through. There's the large skull-headed guy who's just like dead in a pile directly on the doorstep that Declan shot.
Huh.
At the far end of the room, Zeus again sits on his throne. It's been a while since we've seen him, but he is wearing a metallic, almost like an old diver suit, but a little bit more slick. You can think kind of like the Apocalypse armor from the X-Men comics. So kind of slick metal armor, big shoulder guards. His head is a massive clear dome filled with bees swarming around, with kind of a voice like one of those old-timey radio vox, like basically radio speaker type things for a mouth that helps translate what the bees are saying. And he has all sorts of various gadgets and, like dials and nozzles and other such things kind of across his gear. His arms are tubes, sort of coiled tubes similar to what you'd see in a hazmat, like emergency glove system, ending in very like heavily articulated robotic hands. You get the sense that the arms could be wacky waving inflatable if they wanted to be, but generally they do take the shape of standard humanoid arm frames.
I'm just now picturing the robot from the original Lost in Space.
Yeah, honestly, that
like
is
waving it.
That is my baseline for this. It's that
awesome.
It's that guy meets the guy from the, I want to call it the RIPD, but that's not correct. Whatever the Hellboy, like Hellboy has a character who's gaseous inside a suit, and very much that kind of guy. Because as you know, inside he's just full of bees. So many bees. So the arms are full of bees, and he moves them around with bees, but he kind of maintains a humanoid shape with his swarm. So you crash this party. You arrive into it. You've got a perfect view from here through the domed glass ceiling of all the primer hoods rocketing towards the planet's surface. You can see the Zeus Cannon fully charged, just ever so slightly beginning to just drift in your general direction as per Declan's orders. The extra few degrees it needs to be lined up. And before you are a bunch of MFTs. Behind them are a bunch of executives. All eyes are on you. And Bezos just says, "Yeah, very good. You have reached the Hive Quarters. This is unexpected and somewhat disappointing. But of course, from here you can see my new future be birthed. So there is something to that." And that, like, all the bees like scatter against his helmet in laughter.
God.
But you're here. You have made it to where you wanted to be. No pun intended.
Boo!
Boo! I'm gonna say there are about 50 people in this room. And Bezos. But a quick scan shows you that none of them are security folk. You're basically looking at mages and executives. It would seem that no one was really planning on anyone getting this far, and there's probably, you get the sense there are several levels just full of soldiers beneath you, between where you were and where you are now. But unfortunately, they were not prepared for any portal hijinks. And yet here we are in the midst of jinx of the portacular variety. So I'm going to have the three of you please roll me initiative. It's not that we're immediately entering combat because you haven't done anything yet, but it'll just be helpful for me.
6.
Okay.
24.
22. I hate to say it, but we were born for this.
Amazing. So, in classic, cinematic fashion, the three of you have emerged from this portal. Bezos has said his piece. Between you and him, bunch of angry mages and a hell of a lot of angry executives. What do you do?
Declan will take the hacking device back from Alyn and hook it up to the little pad, like a little pad that he's got on his wrist, and say, "All right, so now it's time for us to negotiate, because I've got your Zeus Cannon aimed here, and I can blast us all to fucking hell. So step 1, everyone who's not a bunch of bees in a fucking suit and who didn't come through a portal with us, get the fuck out."
And from the back of the room, Bezos says, "Yes, but where will you work? As you know, I am turning this planet into a hive where everyone will have their roles. So if you leave, consider yourselves terminated in the new future of Bezos." I'm gonna roll for the mob. Let's see how the mob feels. Declan, can you roll me it's probably like an intimidation of some sort. I need to just quickly pull up the sheet here. Yeah, let's go intimidation.
All right. Do I have advantage because I actually have the fucking cannon?
Nope, because he has the threat of termination, which unfortunately for most of these people is as scary, if
What
not scary.
a fucking wiener. Like, just for the record, wanted to say that.
All right, I got a whole 4.
Okay. Declan, somewhere, possibly because part of your brain was like blanked out and uploaded to honor system, you thought that some people in this universe could still turn out to be reasonable, could still turn out to realize that, the die had been cast, that no matter what their, financial beliefs or what have you, that, some things aren't worth dying for. But the sad truth, and one that you learned firsthand fighting the corporate wars, was and is that for so many of these people, all they have ever known is the conglomerate. All they've ever known is corporate hierarchy. And as you speak these incredibly true words, the actual proof of your threat slowly turning to face them, you're met not with fear, not with recognition or acceptance, but instead with the irate faces of a room full of Karens who are used to being able to speak to the manager when things don't go their way, and after being chased off planet, thought that finally this was coming. These are like the Pharaoh's bodyguards at this point, willing to be buried inside the pyramid with him if it means they get to serve in the afterlife. They can't conceive of a world beyond this one. And as a result, instead, they slowly begin to advance towards all of you. I'm going to give you each a free action on this because Declan didn't just start shooting; he opened on a thing. Declan, we're going to say yours was to levy the threat.
Yep.
But Honor System and Alyn, in the moment that they're deciding, you both have a chance to act in a way that might go with that or might go against it. Alyn, I will say you have the faintest hint of your magic left. So if there was something you wanted to throw, you can probably manage one more trick before you revert to your standard skill set here.
Hell yeah.
But your initiative is hot flaming garbage. So Honor System's going to get to act first, and then Alyn, you'll get your free shot before things get real messy in the Hive Quarters.
Is the path between me and Jeff Cinda clear?
Nobody. It is full of 50 people. A bunch of executives, bunch of mages. He is at the far end of the room, lording this over all of you. Now, I will say they are not, most of these are not fighters, and they are not as tough as your swords, but they are present and a problem.
Yeah. I'm going to I think I'm going to delay my action if I can.
I was going to say, can you use your super legs to jump over the fucking crowd? Goddamn super legs.
Whoa. It's not a crowd full of ladder rungs. You can't just... Yep, that's fair. So delaying your action, totally reasonable. Also, again, like, it perfectly fine to not do anything in this moment.
Yeah.
Just want to give you all the option.
The delayed action is I have my hand on Legion ready to draw it out and basically just cut off the arms of anyone who gets too close. So I'm delaying until someone basically comes within melee range of me or my friends, at which point I'm cutting people to pieces.
All right. And Alyn.
I wanted to use this on Jeff Cinda, but it's too far away. God damn. Why is this room so big?
Is this a free one? Tom, is this a free one without a spell slot or a free one with a spell slot being burned?
This is the final free. Just like free power. So, Laura, if the concern is that you're going to be out of spell slots, that's one thing. But if it's a spell you will no longer have in a minute, I can't help you.
No. It's literally just like it's not.
Sense.
It's like I want to use it, but it won't hit Jeff Cinda.
You know,
Which is annoying.
it's a real always a bridesmaid, never a bride situation. It's like always so close to hitting just into Bezos with something, but so far.
You know what? Fuck it. I wanted to use cold because it was against bees, but that's not an option right now. So let's just throw some fucking lightning at him and just like start it up.
Get this party started.
All right.
We know where this is heading.
That we do.
So, Laura,
is that okay?
Yeah. Well, you'll have to tell me what throwing lightning at him is a delightful vagity that I do not have.
So it's a bolt of lightning that arcs towards him.
Okay. And mechanically,
and then 3 bolts will leap from that to like the nearest targets.
Cool. Am I rolling to dodge this, or are you rolling?
You are rolling a Dex saving throw, DC 16.
Okay. Passes with flying colors.
Okay.
His arms flail, like the lightning comes, and immediately the suit kind of half deflates, allowing the lightning to arc past him.
Well, it's still going to hit him a bit,
I know.
Tom.
I'm aware.
That's 10. That's 21. This is total, so this will be halved. 21, 24, 28, 36, 41, 51. So 25 damage.
25 damage to Jeff. Cinda.
Yeah, and then to 3 people as well.
So three just fully like.
Do they have to be close to him, Laura, or are they anywhere along the line?
No, it arcs, so it hits him and then springs like from him, like within 30 feet. Within 30
he's like
feet.
100 feet away from everybody else, right, Tom?
No,
because there's other people in the room, right?
So if you think of it as this is such a dumb metaphor, but it actually works pretty well. Think of it as a DJ with like a pit full of dancers. He is at the head of it. He's close to all of them. He's just far away from you.
Okay.
So all of them are between you and him. They're in a pit below. So 3 will absolutely burst. The lightning arcs off and just fries some top executives. Like
fantastic.
Millions of credits worth of people just explode. Bank accounts worth tons will now be fought over by children and acquaintances in the days and weeks to come, assuming the planet survives all of this. But yes, it is a sound hit, and they do not survive.
Cool. Just mechanically speaking, so I know, do I have like the full availability that I had previously to my other spells?
You do not.
I don't. So it's still the same.
Having thrown that.
No, I mean in terms of what I had before I had my full spells.
Yes, you're back to your basic 2099.
Basic 2099, sweet.
Yeah, your basic 2099 set. Again, just that free flowing as it wears off, you can feel almost like someone has wrapped you in a padded quilt, just in terms of your abilities, where for a moment it was flowing through you and you were just orchestrating the chaos, and now suddenly you have to pull the magic out again, which is what you're used to, but certainly not ideal. Okay, so lightning is thrown at Bezos. And his bees bounce against the helmet, and you hear him just say, thank me, that wasn't cold. Well, you can play this game. Attack! And the room attacks. So top of the round.
Fucking 60-foot limitation on cone of cold.
Pop off my attack
forever.
They actually haven't reached you yet. Their initiative is after yours, but before Alyn's, so it does not. But I'll give you advantage on the first attack because you're just waiting. You're waiting for these clowns. So thus begins the great melee honor system. Mm-hmm. You're up first. 47 enemies face down against you and begin to rush you with everything they've got. What do you do?
I think the only way this is going to work is if I protect our 2 ranged fighters because they have the ability to basically hit anyone in the room, including Jefferson Bezos. So I must stay at their side, I think, to defend them from people getting up in their grill.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm planting right here with these guys. When they move forward, I move with them. But until then, I'm going to keep these mages and executives off of them.
Okay. Okay. So similarly, then holding action until the mob arrives.
Yep.
Great. Declan, before you, the clearest threat, obviously, are these mages. There are now because there are other mages throughout the building, of course, like powering everything else. Of the 50 people in this room, there are about 20 mages amongst them of varying skill level. Again, there are some that look very wealthy and well taken care of. There are a few scrappy looking ones that look a little bit more concerning. So you basically got 20 mages between you and the execs, bunch of execs, and then Jeff Cinda at the far end, crackling still with small sparks of lightning. What do you do?
Okay.
And I should say, just for mechanical purposes, I'm using mob rules for this. So rather, as you've probably guessed, rather than targeting in like 50 individuals, it's more so like I'm after the mages. The mages have an HP. The execs have an HP, and obviously Jeff Cinda has HP.
Declan would like to rig the Zeus Cannon to his heartbeat. So if his heart stops, it fires.
Cool.
I don't know if that counts as a move. I don't know what you want to count that.
I'm going to take that as an action because I think it's like you basically have to also fast hack your own body. I think it's easy to do, but it does take some fiddling.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. If I fucking go down, the Zeus Cannon fires. I don't have the ability to hook it up to your biometrics, Alyn. So just, even if we fucking lose, fuck him. And he just takes out like handgun and just knife facing down in his hand, and he's just going to be over Honor System's shoulder. He's so ready to fucking stab these motherfuckers when they get in. And his whole plan is just everybody extreme fucking brutality. Let's make them more scared of us than they are fucking bees in a costume. Like eyes, throats, groins. He's just going to do the ugliest fighting that anyone can do in the hopes of scaring people back.
Awesome. Okay. So that brings us to Jacinda Bezos, still crackling with electricity from the far end. He just yells, "In this case, the customer is wrong!" And he throws out one of his hands, and a vent opens in it, kind of like he's doing an Iron Man blast, but instead of a blast, fucking bees fly out of it, and just a small blast of bees comes zipping toward you. I'm going to roll a dice to see who it is aimed at. Honor System, it is going for you. And your AC is 19?
Yep.
I get... Oh, wow. All three fail. So as the bees kind of swarm up and over, just, being ready with your blade, a quick swipe of Legion immediately, knocks a few aside with the last gasp of God powers. Alyn just sparks a little blast of cold to knock the last few out, as already feeling the ice on your fingertips melting away as the power dissipates, but not enough to cast a cone, but still enough to spark the lighter, as it were.
Legion has that anti-bee pheromone stuff from Dr. Moreau, right?
We talked about it. I don't know if we actually apply it. I know we specifically rigged it to the gas grenades and the flash
grenades. I'd say as a bonus action, Tyler, you could do the fucking Elden Ring,
blade oil.
Just run an oil. Yeah, just go full Witcher style and blade oil it. I think would be fair to say.
Grease the blade
on your turn. And if that's something you think you already would have done, we can just go ahead and we can spend stress. Surprise, you have stress. We can spend stress to say that you did that, because that does seem like something in your I'm preparing to fight.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Let's say I ambrosia greased,
Sure.
or whatever it was, the blade.
Great.
Legion.
So it is laced. And seeing how handily the swarm was killed, for the first time, Jacinda frowns, which is literally just the swirl of bees curves inward to a point before disappearing kind of back through the skull. It's unnerving at distance to those who are paying attention, but I feel like you guys are probably focused on other shit. That brings us to the mages. So they are the execs are kind of pushing forward. The mages are looking a little concerned. Their play kind of like nodding to each other. They kind of as one are going to throw a jacked up thunder wave at you guys.
Hot damn.
So I'm going to need, please, the equivalent of a Constitution save, which I guess in this game
Fortitude.
would be
Fortitude.
Fortitude. Thank you.
Ooh, 19.
14.
14?
18.
18. Okay, so Alyn and Honor System, you save, so you'll take half damage. Duncan, unfortunately, you're taking the full brunt of this.
Mm-hmm.
So that is... 29 points of damage. So if you saved, you take half. Otherwise, full 29.
Fuck.
What kind
And,
of damage is this, Tom?
this would be the equivalent, I believe, of
Bludgeoning, right?
bludgeoning. Yeah, I think so. So in this, so I'm just trying to convert it to carbon. We could probably say this is the equivalent of ballistic damage.
Okay, cool.
I think because it's physical force throwing you back.
Yep. So I have ballistics -3, so I take 26. So I'm down to 85.
There you go. Yep. Great. And just kind of around you, like tables fly backward and shatter against the walls. Glassware, stemware explodes. Again, they were in the midst of a party when all this happened, so there's still kind of trappings of finery everywhere. Because these are the people who didn't have to run through the tunnels, who were already in the safe spot. These are the top brass, the ones that Bezos actually likes and wants and needs to run his operation.
So are the mages at the front lines? So they're not like tagging any executives in this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're up front, but they're also getting pushed towards you. So it's the kind of thing where like they threw this and still like in ideal combat situation, they would be backing the fuck off. But all these execs know if any of them drops you, any one of you, they've got a sweet promotion lined up. So it really is kind of that like, haha, we've got, hey, whoa. And also like the MFTs are on contract. The execs don't give a shit about them. They're expendable, theoretically, not really, but sort of. So the mages are being edged forward, which is what the exec's turn is moving the mages forward in this kind of swell as they all grab whatever weapons are at hand. And they will move the first rank, so the first 10 mages within close combat distance, which I believe triggers honor system.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp. And remember, you have advantage on your first attack because you have been primed and ready.
Okay. So for honor system, it begins. And so he says, just because Declan is like in formation, like over his shoulder, he just says, kill any that get past me. And he surges forward. So
Declan will follow him in that like held action, fucking let's do this.
Yeah. So because the delayed action is only attack, so this is 3 with advantage on each one. Is that correct?
Just against the mages. And basically the way I'm viewing this is I have a bunch of numbers of combined mage HP. So rather than having you fight 20 individual characters, you're hitting against the mage's AC and dealing damage to the mage's HP, which in turn will like knock a bunch of them off. I basically stole the rules from Genesis and applied them here.
Yeah.
But in terms of my 3 attacks, is the first one having advantage or is all of them having advantage?
Just the first one.
Okay. Okay, so that's 22 on the first one.
Yep.
28 on the second one. And 26 on the third one.
You know,
Playing
one
again.
day they'll make those like ballistic combat robes, but until that day, slice and dice, buddy.
Born
Okay.
for this. Born for this. Born
Yeah.
for this.
10 plus 7, 17 on the first hit.
Okay.
5 and 6 is 11 plus 7, 18. And then 4 plus 7, 11 for the third hit.
Okay. So big hits. Just like slicing and dicing. A bunch of mages go down as you begin to cut through them. You managed to take out 3 mages, just like slashing left and right. It's the classic, like they're getting pressed forward. They've just thrown Thunderwave. Their hands are still up, and just you soundly cut them down. Was there anything else to your prepared action?
It was just an attack, so that would be it. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Cool. And that brings us to Alyn.
Alyn will be essentially waiting for any that get through, just ready to just grab some arms and suck the life force.
I mean, you can just reach out and
Out of
grab,
anyone.
like you can reach out and touch Faith
Right.
if you want. Like they're right there.
Yeah, if they're right there, I will just touch whatever body part I can get to.
Okay.
On 2 of them.
Yep.
Obviously casting vampiric touch.
Yes.
So first one, Boo Earns is a 10 to hit.
Sadly,
Fuck
will
that.
not hit.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Very much a hit.
Yeah. Okay. So that will be 66 plus 2. That's 10. Ooh. 22. So that's 25 points of damage. So I get to heal
Alright.
12.
2 more mages go down, screaming in agony. And
Lovely.
Declan, I'm going to give you advantage on your first attack since you actively said you wanted to make it as brutal as possible. I think Alyn, like draining the life force of 2 people is a pretty, it's a feather in your cap, vampiric feather in your cap. Okay, awesome. And there starts to be rumblings and grumblings now, where suddenly everyone's starting to realize that the just tremendous chain of mistakes they've made in stepping up to you guys. Bring us to the top of the round. Honor system. Guess
Oh
who's
my
in melee
gosh.
range? If
Yeah.
you guessed all the mages, you are correct.
Is too late for regrets. I'm going in with this is 4 attacks now because I'm going to include my bonus action, Wave
Sure.
of the Blade. Nat 20, holy shit. 24, 13.
13 will not do.
Okay, and then 23, so 3 hits. I'm guessing
3 hits plus 2 hits and a crit.
Right, so double damage on this first one. So 4, and then 11 plus 7, 4 and 11. 15 plus 7, 22.
Okay.
Double 6 is nice. 12 plus 7 for, gosh, my brain is
19.
Thank you. And
Plus-
one more.
plus,
Sorry, 12 plus 7? Yeah.
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 Okay.
This is 13 plus 7, which is 20.
And 20 more. Jesus Christ.
So that's 61 damage.
And if killing these people allows me space to move, I wish to just move up further. Like whoever I cut down, I don't want the back row to have like space. I come up to them
Yep.
as well.
The mages fall beneath your blade. It sings and they scream, and you begin to plow your way into the next line. As you may have determined, you guys are slightly more powerful than everyone in this room aside from Jacinda Bezos. So this is going to be very much a slow crawl forward, a slow, brutal crawl forward, but you're able to start to move. So basically the way we're going to play this is successful attacks knocking off HP, absolutely, but also forcing you forward. If we're failing our attacks, it means we're going to get gummed up just by the sheer weight of people throwing themselves at us. This is very much a mix of like, working your way through walking through a tar pit, and also the church shootout from the Kingsman. It's just a mix of the two. So have at it.
As much as Alyn can, I just want to say visually, it's basically going to be her almost wading through this crowd, grabbing the people nearest towards her, draining their life and leaving them behind her.
Sounds about right. Gross. Okay, so honor system. Anything else from you on your turn?
Nope, that was attack and
Right.
bonus action. So
Nice.
Declan.
Declan has been playing it nice up to this point, but he has had enough of playing nice. So he draws the knife that he has made out of brandy out of his sheath,
Oh, yeah.
and he reaches down and dips it in a second sheath that he has and pulls it out and flips it around in his hand. So that's facing upwards. And he's using a poison because he's a dirty fighter when he gets up close. So his attacks, if they're successful, can add the poisoned condition to this crowd. His preferred poison is called the Screaming Eye Bleeds. It just causes shrieking agony, so people start screaming and bleeding from their eyes. It's fully a psychological weapon.
Oh,
as
so
well as
that's
the
how it
poison.
got the name.
Yeah. It's from, well, I mean, I'm sure it has a technical name, but he killed
Does
the
it?
doctor who made it.
Doctor Screaming Eye Bleeds, actually. That's
Yeah.
where
Oh,
the
New
name came
Hampshire
from.
Screaming Eye Bleeds.
Yeah.
So you said he had advantage on this attack, which
That's
is fun. So he's just diving in. I imagine firing the gun as well. He's not going to not do it, but that's just flavor. His attack is a 22.
Yep.
Wonderful. So he gets
Nice.
his regular damage plus honor system. Anyone he's attacking has honor system within 5 feet, and he doesn't have disadvantage, so it is a sneak attack.
Hang on, let me push my hot button. Yes, it's a sneak. Yes, it's a sneak attack. Yes, it's a sneak attack.
So that is 23 damage plus the mob gains the poisoned. What is it? Gains the poison condition for the next 2 rounds.
Okay.
From the Screaming Eye Bleeds, and it's just him like stabbing in the gut, stabbing in the inner thigh, ramming it into somebody's crotch, eye shooting the next person. Like, it's just extreme fucking grotesque brutality. And he's
Non-wick business.
they're out in
Very
the sense
efficient.
of D&D killing people, but they are laying on the floor screaming because he's not finishing them. He's leaving them as a sign for the rest of the crowd.
Yeah, they get the message. It's a pretty clear message. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Well, with that horror in mind,
We're the heroes.
This is what you and I do, Declan.
Again, self-professed terrorists.
Don't
this
worry.
is just matching the goal.
soon we'll be back in Dumfey Ruin. Someone will fart on someone. Bucky will be same as he ever was. Adorable. Everything will be great. I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen to those lovely humans.
Exactly.
Snarf, etc. So Jacinda sees this happening, and you just hear him say, "I knew I should have invested in combat executives. Think of all the time we spent on the gun range, boys, girls, and people. Fight back, fight hard." And you see him start to type very quickly. He throws out another swarm of bees. This time's going straight for going for honor system again, which is just the worst person to target with bees because he's not that organic, but you know. Big bad evil guys can't be choosers, I guess. All right, so 2 will actually successfully hit you this time, sir. Unfortunately, and let me just get my stats back here because I had to click away. All right, so that is going to be. Let's roll my stuff here. Okay, so. You are going to take, you're hit by 2, so that is 20 points of ballistic damage and 22 points of acid damage.
No.
Okay. So
Danger with being genetically engineered super bees. They do mean things.
So that takes me down past 0.
Okay.
I have an ability called Tough to Kill. If I'm reduced to 0 hit points or am killed outright, I can make a DC 10 con save. On a success, I retain consciousness and get 1 hit point. It's a nat 20.
Wow. 1
HP.
Well, no, sir. Not with an nat 20. Go ahead and what's your hit die?
They're D10s.
D10s? Okay, so go ahead and roll a D10 and add that to your 1 HP.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. 3. Okay.
That is 300% Norm. What a performance!
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a small kindness. It's not a big kindness.
Yeah.
All right. So as the three of you slowly murder your way forward, Jacinda unleashes another swarm of bees. And this time, unfortunately, despite having the stank on your blade, you're too busy cutting down folks to properly defend yourself against it. And again, this is an organic threat, and you're made of metal. So what care you? The bees begin to sting you, just falling away across your body. It's almost like getting shot by a machine gun in terms of your optics, where you're just getting like pings and getting like the little targeting reticles as they break against you. You can feel them kind of hit the chassis, but wherever they hit the organics that Dr. Moreau added, to begin to necrofy and sort of burn and sizzle away. As you continue to slice forward, the ropey muscle that's been sort of wrapped around your arms kind of loosens and falls away. The sort of muscle fiber holding your chest plate together sort of sloughs off you in kind of a blackened mess. And only as kind of like, you're getting like full alert warnings as you continue to cut, the bees continue to sting. Do you finally catch sight of the metal fists gleaming your sword, holding your sword, as the flesh of your all too brief hands kind of falls away in ribbons? You almost fall offline as this happens. Moreau's stuff was really holding you together in a pretty serious way. But blinking at the back of your memory is still that file about Seamus that Declan will never know if you drop.
Yeah.
And kind of with a swell of whatever form emotion takes for you at this evolutionary state, that keeps you going and keeps you online as you stagger forward. Still continuing to cut and slice away, taking heavy damage, but still managing to protect your friends from the wrath of Zeus. Declan, would you notice this happening?
Oh, yeah. Declan's like, system, you gotta get behind me. I can take the next one, but we're not fucking losing you here.
I that is like what I think you hear. It's just words won't come. God, it's not even Honor System's turn. So he's just struggling to his feet and holds the katana up in front of him again, ready to continue fighting.
Yeah, I think Declan's just planted, because they were together. So Declan's just planted himself in front of him, just holding back the crowd with System on the floor rising.
Great. And so Declan, you kind of like gore your way out in front. It's almost like a bar brawl where you've just kind of got a little bit of space. You have mages closing in, having been forced forward. They're all switching to their close combat.
Are the mages dead? Did Honor System finish them? Or?
He murdered. There were the 10 that were in immediate close combat and forced his way into the second rank. There's not very many of these guys left.
That's fine.
There are of their initial HP, perhaps. Oh, I don't know. Just pulling a number from a hat, maybe 23 HP's worth of mages left. So there's only a few who are kind of
200 mages. They're so soft.
Yeah. But the few remaining mages are moving forward, and you can see they've kind of thrown off the range stuff. At this point, it's almost like they're just getting shoved into you. So they've got kind of their shocking grasps and their other touch range abilities up.
Yeah. Declan's just yelling at him like, come on, you dirty dumb fucks. Like he's just making as much of a distraction of himself as he can as System recovers.
Cool. Well, also, these mages are expecting that something like necromancy is probably more effective on a human screaming at them than a robot, so they have no problem leaning in. So they're going to go ahead and make their attacks on you, Declan. Okay, so they stumble forward. I was completely incorrect about what spell they're going to use. You can see just in panic, like their hands begin to glow with flame as they just stagger forward to grab you. And unfortunately, they are poisoned, which means they have disadvantage because the crowd is now there's just a general ode to poison kicking around. So they're going to take their attacks on you, Declan.
They have to step on several mages that are screaming while their eyes
100%. And executives at this point, because you guys have plowed into that crowd as well. So
Nice.
all right, so only one is going to get through. And that is going to be 14 points of damage.
Great. And I am going to use Uncanny Dodge to have that damage, so it'll be 7.
7? Okay, cool. So that's the mages. Now we get a couple of attacks in from the execs. So the execs are now like pulling up and over, and they're just swinging whatever they got. They are just swinging weapons. And again, we're going to see, I think because Honor System is down and staggering up, he's harder to hit. So they're instead going after Alyn and Declan.
Yeah.
First mob is going after Alyn. Second mob is also going after Alyn. Just lots of swings on Alyn.
Oh god.
Alyn, what's your AC right now?
15.
15. Okay, so that's 1 hit, 2 hits, and 3 hits.
Oh,
so,
guys, this is not good.
They managed to get 3 hits through. You're going to take 13 points of damage as they hit you with whatever they've got. It's worth noting that, yes, a bunch of them got through. They don't do very much damage because they're just swinging whatever they have, and none of them are good at fighting.
Just all swinging improvised weapons.
They've done a lot of CrossFit. They've got great cardio, no upper body necessarily for the swinging of weapons. So it's literally just like a guy's hitting you with a briefcase. There's like a lady stabbing you with like a fucking like business person of the year trophy, like a little.
Stop it!
Yeah, they're not super strong. The mages are the real threat as usual. Which brings us to Alyn. So you're getting. There's a couple of mages still up, and you've got executives poking and prodding you. What do you do?
God, I hate this so much. Shit, yeah, I'm just gonna grab the nearest whatever.
Let's stay a mage.
I'll grab a mage, and I'll vampiric touch. But then I'm with my other arm pointing to a point about 25, 30 feet away, and a fireball is going to erupt there.
All right. Let's see how this goes.
Fuck. It's too much, you know? All right. So that vampiric touch is going to be a nat 20 to hit. Hell yeah. Okay, so let's do the damage on that one first. Is that cool, Tom?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. So that's going to be 5, 8, 11, 14, 18, 23. So that's going to be 11 points of healing for me.
Okay.
But that's my first attack, and it hits. So they're also going to take an extra 3 acid damage.
Oh ho!
So lovely. And then the fireball. That's just a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw for the mob.
Yeah. DC 16.
And they are poisoned, so they're at disadvantage.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I rolled a 1.
Yay! Let's smoke up some paper. Whew. All right, that's some 6s. That's nice. 6, 11, 12, 16, 20, 22, 27, 30 fire damage, B.
So just full on like ragdoll physics. Like the explosion happens, just throwing executives in every direction. Bunch of them get incinerated. As you drain, and Alyn, again, since we're using mob rules, it's not just like grabbing one person and vampire touching them. I think it's like just pulling mages past out of the way, pulling them off Declan, throwing them away. Just husks hitting the ground, drained of life. The fireball erupts, blasts a bunch of people in every direction. It's just kind of a huge crater in the middle of the space. And at the far end of the room, you see a look of fear in Jacinda Bezos' swarm. The bees are actually trembling at a higher rate. The buzzing is interminably loud. And you just hear him say, "So shit, this is not going according to plan. Oh well, good thing there's always plan B." And he slams a button on his desk for plan B.
Fuck yeah, of course.
And the definitely not Alexa for legal reasons voice says, "You have activated emergency union regulations. Is someone forming a union? Oh no, we will see to that." And with that, just immediately, like a carapace armor shoots up out of the ground and builds over the desk, blocking him off from those pesky unions. And all of a sudden, the entire room shifts. The floor beneath you slides, creating essentially almost a trough situation towards the desk. The desk immediately and the pod fast drop through a gap down what seems to be an emergency escape elevator shaft of some sort. But of course, if people in his office are forming a union, that's one thing Amazon will not stand for. And to the sound of poisoned, some stabbed, some bleeding screams, all of you tumble down this slanted floor into this elevator shaft. And amidst the bleeding and screaming remains of Amazon's executive floor, as Bezos disappears down a shaft in his protected little CEO bubble, all of you begin to fall the length of the Citadel to your death.
This episode of Dum Dums and Dragons 2099 features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra. The system we're playing is Carbon 2185, and Dum Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are Core Collapse and Sanctuary of the Sky Gods by Nathaniel Yaverne, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Now I'm off to do future things before we return for the next episode of Dum Dums and Dragons 2099. Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Sammy Boy, Orion Birchfield, Scott Garland, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Grandma Likes D&D, Alyn, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Shulzari, Christian Mendez, Spot Allen, Flynn 1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG It's Big Nick, Steve Wees, D&D and Things, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.